All right. Go. Oh, come here. Y'all know what time it is. Welcome the first intro episode to
Chip and Mac show.
we in here.
Well, this is Chip. My name is Mac. Obviously, you can follow us at Chippy, J. McDougal. And today's topic generally is going to be on an introduction of ourselves, who we are, where we've been, and obviously where we're going, and what we do. So generally, when you have this type of concept, you just want to introduce yourself on the first episode. So that's why I'm gonna pitch it off to Chip. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're currently doing, family, etc.
Well, everybody pretty much follow my page at Chippy_ of the North. It's a underscore in between each word, Chippy of the North. And basically, family man, made the transition from one thing into logistics.
Yep.
Now I own my own trucking company, Northside Logistics. Northside, everything in reference to my name or my company is Northside because I'm from North New Jersey,
Okay.
and that's our section of Northside. Newark is comprised into 4 different wards: North Ward, South Ward, East Ward, West Ward. And so be it, I'm from the North, so we all scream that Northside.
Okay, cool. When you say transitioning, what you mean? What were you doing prior to being in trucking?
I was working for somebody. I was working for the man. So that was and we all see that now it's this big boom in trucking.
Yeah, trucking.
And everybody wants to get in trucking and I'm gonna buy me a truck and put a drive in it. Huh? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. First thing I want to say to you guys is that trucking is a very dangerous occupation. Right? So yeah, it's money, but you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay one way or another.
Just to piggyback off that real quick, I think every industry has its challenges, right? And nobody talks about the beginning stages. They always talk about where you want to be at in the end, right? And the perspective that we always have to deal with is what we're getting into. And I think with trucking, the concept is I'm gonna buy a truck and somebody just gonna drive it for me. So obviously, by being a truck owner operator, you know how hard it is to employ people.
Sure.
Also,
especially our people.
Yeah, our people. Yeah, we're a little difficult, but we all have ambitions to be a boss. And right. I'm not telling you not to be that, but everybody, you have to understand this. And this is a known statistic. Generally, this is a known statistic. 4 out of 5 people that's millionaires work for somebody. Right. And a lot of people don't know. I'm not saying that you got to dumb yourself down and go work for somebody. No, I'm not saying that. And excuse me. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that you got to know just the statistics. Statistics mean a lot, meaning that it was a study and this is the route to go. It's like being in marketing, right?
Right.
Marketing is all based off statistics. Like you got to know who you're marketing to really have a fundamental and a great ROI. Return on your investment, you know what I mean? Return on whatever you're trying to do. And I think with trucking, just to jump on this real quick, I think we all see the simplicity of it, but we don't know the difficult task is that
it's so many things that go on behind the scenes, right? We in the age now, what? Microwave.
Yeah, microwave.
Want it fast, right? We can't do that. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Correct.
Everything was comprised of a team.
Yes.
You understand? And you can't just want to jump into something. You get the most return on your investment when the things that you invested, the time that you invest into something is a passion.
Correct.
That's when you really gonna see your bread. You can't just see somebody driving a truck a year later. You see, because we going off the images off of Instagram. I could be lying.
Well, let me say this, right? When you first get into something, obviously you want to make money, right? But how you stay in it is by being persistent, right? You got to persist through the trauma or the downside of the business. When I got into finance, right? When I got into finance, it was based off of financial benefit. I could still have this lifestyle that I had prior to this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same token, but now I can do it without thinking about money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the type of value I can bring. But when I first got into it, 10 years ago, it was about money. But then the money like, obviously, you could make money, but then it's like, outside of making money, what other value that you're bringing? Because if you don't have any value, you can't make no money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality. So I got away from the money focus part and started dealing with how much value can I bring people, because if you're valuable, you're going to make money regardless.
Right.
So just to get back with you on this, unpack this a little bit more about trucking, what I see in the trucking industry is people don't understand about the breakdown and the maintenance of a truck.
Sure.
Obviously we talk a lot, and I be saying you spend about, probably $2,000 a month on just maintenance alone.
Shit, and that's on the low side.
That's on the low side.
Right. That's on the low side.
I don't want to scare nobody out and say that it's not a great opportunity. I'm not going to say that. You know what I mean? I'm not. Let's be clear. It's an extraordinary opportunity. I'm not going to say that it's not, but I am saying the downside of it is that
one of the biggest misconceptions behind trucking is that you're gonna have boatloads of money, liquid cash that you can touch whenever you want to. One thing about owning a business, you got front money that you could see. You might have $20,000 that you accrued over the month, right? But that $20,000 cannot be spent by you, because it goes back into the business.
I can't even say that. What I can say about owning a business is that you have to put the skin in first before you get anything out of your business.
Right.
You have to be willing to invest into it, especially like having marketing, like having a marketing budget, right? Let's say your marketing budget is $10,000, right? When you put that $10,000 in, you didn't make no money. Like, cause you don't know if it's going to work yet. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this: when any business you in order for it to work, you got to really be in it. Meaning that you going to have to risk something. Meaning not risk in regards to like being in the street where you want to corner somebody. It's a different type of risk. I think
everything transitions back to what a lot of us derive from, right?
Correct.
The hood. It's the same thing. If you can be successful standing on a corner and you are using all of those strategies, all those ideologies, marketing, you giving out samples to the fiends. You know what I'm saying? You doing overtime, you breaking day. It's the same thing. You are managing your money. Hey, guess what? You're doing suicide flips to get up to a certain point. Yeah. It's the same thing. So when I hear a lot of people from our culture, genre, like, you know what I'm saying, talking that, yes, you can, because if you can somewhat maintain your street hustle, it's the same thing in the business world. It's just different.
Correlates.
It's different verbiage.
Yeah, it's correlate and different actions. Right. Meaning that, in the streets, you may have to go get physical with somebody.
Right, but you can't.
In corporate America,
it's a pencil, a pen.
Yeah,
you get physical with a pen.
The pen is mightier than a sword, right? You go get physical with somebody in corporate America, you're going to jail.
You're going right to jail.
You're going right to jail. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Even in trucking, you going to jail because the mechanics are ripoffs, right?
Yeah, they're ripoffs.
My father always told me it's 3 types of people you only see them when you need them: a mechanic, a doctor, and a lawyer. and that's when you're in your most vulnerable position, when you need one of them 3. Because you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I was extremely vulnerable last night. I was extremely vulnerable. I'll touch on that, but go ahead.
So when you take your truck or your equipment to the mechanic, you only taking it there because you need him. So he can do whatever he want to do to you. But you can't use that street method against him.
Correct.
What you gonna do? Knock him upside his head? You gonna go run and go get a slammer? Go get a stick? You can't do that. You can't go to jail. Your name of your company is on the side of the truck.
Hopefully.
So he got you for $6,000, which is you can go in there and spend about $6-7 grand in one shot.
Now, cool question. Why don't truckers go to? All right, when we're dealing with maintenance of a truck, why do they go to mechanics instead of going to the dealership? Going to the dealership.
Because the dealership had your equipment there for like 2 weeks before they even look at it.
Okay. So
you try to go to the mechanic. The way mechanics get you in logistics is they misdiagnose the problem.
Yeah,
that's where the money at, misdiagnosing. Now, you can't afford to take your truck to the dealership because it's a week to get an appointment, and it's going to be a week for them to actually look at the truck. That's 2 weeks that you down. So
Okay.
let's say your truck make $1,500 a day. 15 times 5, what's that? 6,500.
Yeah.
6,500 times 2, that's 13 grand you done lost in 2 weeks.
Okay.
You still gotta, you might, suppose you man a note on the truck. Truck note still due.
All right.
Parking still due.
Yeah, all that's due.
Insurance still due.
Everything due.
So
Insurance
you
is-
rather take it to Alejandro.
Hopefully. I mean, I think that's the biggest rip off. But let me just touch on myself real quick. My name is John McDougal. Go follow me at j.mcdougal. I've been in finance realm directly for about 10 years now. So generally, I deal with more on the flip side of life insurance, annuities, estate planning, just simple planning sometimes
Gotta
a lot.
be right.
Gotta be right. Of course I got you right. You're my guy. But the more of the story is that why I got into this industry, the industry I was coming from was more of labor intensive. And I just knew I had a vision of myself. I didn't want to be in a labor intensive because the industry prior to that, it wasn't no labor. It was transactional.
Right.
Very transactional, and we've seen great profits in that, right?
Right.
So the thing is that when it just came to a time where I just understood that I couldn't live like that no more personally, because morally I couldn't connect with that. And obviously, if you smart, you could get the gist. I don't want to be like that bold with my conversation, obviously, because
so basically you was in these streets.
I was
in these streets.
Something like that. Yeah, you could say that. You know what I mean? Participated for a long time. Yeah, I participated for a long time. But the more of the story is that the writing was on the wall. Also, I didn't have how intense it started being. And, I just couldn't live. I didn't want to live like that no more personally. You know what I mean? I couldn't. Kids, once you start, reproducing and having children and you start looking at the responsibility that you have. And once you if you're responsible, and me being a young parent, I had a son at 17. I had my first son at 17. So that was like a life changer. You know what I'm saying? So I just understood early from watching other fathers that nobody wasn't going to be responsible for my son like I was.
Right.
So in the course of watching him grow up and wanting to be there all the time, I understood that, some risks didn't make sense anymore because obviously you're just being in that type of situation, right? So the risk wasn't worth the reward. You know what I mean? It was more cons than pros. But also what I'm going to say is that I wasn't supplementing myself with things to stay, like meaning that what I see a lot of people do that be in the street a lot, they have habits.
Right.
The habit they probably have an alcohol habit. They probably have a marijuana habit. So you don't never have a clear mind to think about a lot of repercussions that may come down the line. The consequences, because if you're pretty much, how could I say this? If you're always incapacitated, right? That's the right word to say. Yeah. And you know what I mean? If you're always under the influence, like you don't have a clear mind to think. So I had a clear mind, and I had a very, very influential friend that generally didn't do any of them things. You know what I mean? Didn't do any of them things. I just respect him so much that he was just one of them individuals that I would go on his every word. I mean, at one time in my life, I didn't make a decision without speaking to him about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
but see, you came from the era where as though you had a real big bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
So he steered you, even though what we was doing was wrong, what was taking place was wrong in a sense, right? But he still had enough morals and integrity to what?
To guide you the right way.
Right.
Yeah. I can honestly say that from where I'm from, I don't think nobody was sending, like, it was a lot different from where you at. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know what I mean? Same type of style, but I think we was a lot more on a, you know what I mean? We wasn't as extreme as you guys was. You guys was pretty extreme. We was more focused on, this money. I guess because we was in a smaller setting, you know what I mean? I guess when you're in a bigger setting, you you have to be a lot more aggressive because you're dealing with more people. Right. If that makes sense. But where I'm from in Elizabeth, we was aggressive, obviously, but we wasn't too extreme, meaning that we was kind of like, because the police would know in a minute, you know what I mean? Right. And obviously,
Elizabeth's so small.
Elizabeth too small. You can't do that out
Eastwick. You gotta say it.
I'm proud of my town. I'm proud of my town.
Now,
man.
I was born in the Wick.
Of course you was.
I was born in the Wick.
Of course you was.
But we moved over to North and messed my life up.
Is it? So so the thing is about being in Elizabeth, everybody knew each other back then. It was just, you know, everybody, we all knew each other. And that was just the dopest part about that, you know, growing up, going to different schools and being from First Street. Generally, I'm from a spot called Magnolia Manors. Just growing up, man, we had a lot of fun and we was all like family orientated. And we always pissed poor.
I went through hell when we moved from Elizabeth to North. You hear me?
Yeah.
What? Man, listen.
How was that though? It was bad?
It was terrible. Man. It was terrible. I was from Elizabeth. You from Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Man, I was fighting every day.
Yeah, you was in Spires, right?
Yeah, in the Guard Spires, man.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. It's still tough.
It's still tough.
You know what I'm saying?
It looked nice, but it's tough.
It's tough. Yeah, they beautified the ghetto.
They
beautified the ghetto, right?
They definitely put a Maserati
frame on a Honda Civic. Not Honda Civic. That's a Maserati and a Honda Civic. But the more story, let me get back to this before we keep rambling. So I've been in finance for 10 years. So generally, like I said, I deal with obviously life insurance, annuities, estate planning, and just, you know, providing information to individuals that look like us. Obviously, I have a broader clientele at this point. Where I started with a company called American Income, and then I went to New York Life, and now currently I run my own, you know, brokerage out of Mass Mutual. So Mass Mutual is extremely dope. And generally, I've been doing that, like I said, for 10 years. It's extremely dope. I'm virtual with everything. And I wouldn't do anything else because, like I said, it's something that I'm passionate about now, something that I gained a lot of knowledge in, and something that I can be proud about when you provide this to somebody, because everybody have to utilize it. And life insurance is one of them things that individuals don't understand. It's not only a death benefit, it's a living benefit. So generally, you don't have to die to utilize this, right? When I speak to people, sometimes I like to talk about being disabled, right? Have you ever seen a disabled person have to pay bills? You know what I mean? Because if you go on disability, understand you still have the same bills. So generally with your life insurance policy, depending on how it's designed, you can utilize your life insurance policy for like a long-term care. You can liquidate it.
Like I did. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he got me right. I'm worth half a ticket.
A lot more than that, but whatever. You know what I mean? You know, it's roughly.
I got some.
Right?
I got the.
You got some.
Like
Yeah. And the thing is that the taboo thing is that people don't like to talk about it because they think that they're bringing death upon themselves, right? And that's so farther from the truth, because
that's dumb.
That's stupid. But I get it. I get why you would think of that, because you don't understand how responsible you are for people in the event of that happening, because nobody knows. The thing is that no one has an ETA when we're going to go.
I tell people like this: when you get buried, right, what go on your tombstone? Father, husband, brother, loving family member, right? So if they put that on your tombstone, that means when you in that ground, you're still a father, still a brother, still a husband. So as a man, providing don't stop even when they put you in that box. Yeah, they don't stop.
Yeah, I get that, but also understanding that a lot of us just don't understand it's life after us.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's life after us. It don't stop.
Providing don't stop.
Providing don't stop. Especially, man. So what I learned in our neighborhoods, and I know a lot of people can contest to this, is seeing somebody that's in the street when they pass away, right?
And y'all be having them dumbass French fries.
I mean, I
ain't buying no plate, Miss Ethel.
I get that. But the thing is that you have to understand, like I was talking to my best friend yesterday, who I was kind of speaking in regards to, who, like I said, at one point in my life, I wasn't making a decision without his confirmation, because life was getting so real and I couldn't make any more mistakes. So it's like when you on a path to something, you're going to be around the people that you need to be around. Right. Because you're going to attract them type of people, right? So let me just get to this, right? So where I was at again?
You ain't talked to him without
making a decision. I know that. But then, all right, with life insurance, right? So the moral of the story is that we don't have no ETA when we're going to pass away, right? So we don't have that. There's no set date. So what I see, a lot of individuals don't understand that you're putting your children in a financial bond for a long time, right? Now, what you do, your children or your mate. I don't care if y'all beefing. I don't care if y'all don't like each other, y'all don't speak. The moral of the story is that at one night, if y'all only did it one night, y'all both had the same intentions. Your intentions was to get her pregnant, or you was just trying to keep it moving. However it is, when you make these type of commitments, you have to understand that children never asked to be here. Even if you tell this young lady that you don't want the child,
right?
At some point, you got to understand from a mental perspective what that child would go through without you being present. Because like I tell people all the time, no one cares about your children more than you. So it's like having a car. Like I always speak to my wife, right? I say, yo, if you keep your car junky, what you think somebody else gonna come in here and do? So I use that analogy to let people understand that if you're not loving on your children, I don't know how you can think that somebody else is going to love them more. And I know sometimes in our culture, we're a little difficult. You know what I mean? We don't understand each other. Maybe there's another person inside, you know what I mean, involved in the situation, right? Because just speaking on me, like I had custody of my son since he was 7, 8. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I just knew I couldn't do. He has a great mother, no doubt about it. But she allowed me to do what I need.
She didn't try to castrate you and not let you raise your boy to be a man.
I'm not going to say she wasn't difficult at first, but I am going to say is that, you know.
No, but that's just a woman.
Yeah, a woman. Like, nobody wants to give up their child. Nobody wants to give up their child. So we went through that, I guess, because we was immature. And it was pretty difficult because obviously, you know, when you're trying to, you not with someone and you ask them to trust in what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard, but the moral story is back on topic. The moral story is when you leave your children out here not with a financial platform, your children is on survival mode until they get out of that. Now, when I look at my children, right, my children not on survival mode. So now everything's not urgent. So they can make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand everybody need resources. Nothing happen. I don't care if they can dream. I don't care whatever could happen, what have you. But the thing is that you need resources to back every idea. Because without resources, you can have a great idea, but you can't get it off the ground, right? Everything. So the moral story is what I'm saying to say is that you leave your children in such a financial bondage that you don't know. Obviously, a lot of people have in their mind that somebody's going to mess the money up. I get that. But the thing is that long as you do what you have to do.
And what they going to do with that money ain't got nothing to do with you.
It does, but I get what you're saying. But let me finish. Why I'm saying why it's just kind of like this softening the blow. What somebody is going to do, give them an opportunity to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that we don't know. Even the people that we feel like responsible may not be responsible, and the person that's least responsible may not.
So this is what has to take place. You know, you leaving your people some money. The people that you leaving the money to, you start educating them.
Yeah, you got to educate them on what to do.
And start teaching them about finance. But shit, leave me half a ticket. I'm a burn through it. I don't know about money management.
Or work with an individual like myself so I can constantly play a role and I can have the influence.
What the percentage you get off that?
I don't get no percentage. But the thing is that my value come in at I'm always accessible. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come to your kid's party. You know what I mean? I'm going to come to your events if you invite me. Like I go to majority of my clients, you know what I mean? I run a full, not just clients. Like I'm a try to be there at like for parties, dinners, things like that, because more stories that it's not just I'm gonna close you and I'm gonna go my way. You know what I mean? Granted, build a relationship. You know what I mean? Granted, I do work in different states. So when I do go to different states, I try to, make sure that I'm patronizing them and just try to be familiar with them as possible. Social media help us connect a lot faster and easier. So now it's kind of like we have a lot of interaction on social media. Granted, that's which social media is the powerful thing that ever happened to us. But we do connect on those levels. But the more of the story is that it's like individual, like I know your son. You know what I'm saying? Like I play with toys with your son. You know what I'm saying? So it's like kind of like we have a connection. Granted, I'm not going to have that connection with everybody, but I offer that. That's what when you do business with me as a client in my practice, that's what I'm offering. I'm offering a personal side of being able to know your family, and also be like, well, we're not going to do that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people think about investing, right? And I tell people from the get-go, with investing, you want to invest into yourself first before you give your money to someone else, right? You want to ensure that the funds that you allocate and you can continue to create, right? Creativity is one thing. So what I'm saying is, in retrospect, like you can put it in a market, right? There's a lot of volatility in the market. But what I'm saying is that dump some of that money into you to learn about the market before you give it to the market. So now you're giving yourself a more of an opportunity to kind of like be a smarter investor.
Right.
Because nothing is not, it's
but in certain situations where though, that might be too much for individuals. So a lot of times you gotta
go to a trusted
person a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta dumb it down. You gotta go to a trusted person. Or what I come into, we simplify it.
So how do you get somebody to buy some insurance that don't give a damn about having no insurance? How you do that? I'm out here thugging. No,
that's not my client.
Nah, but you still, so you skip over this?
I mean, generally, where I'm at right now, I'm not going to skip over them, but I'm not going to spend no time on that. No. Because I'm sorted out at this point. So generally I kind of like, or we would sit with someone. Everybody loves somebody, right? So we just need to figure out who he loves and kind of get to that point. So when I come into the situation, like we're going to turn it into a living benefit. But if there's no love, then the service I provide, it's kind of like, I don't know if we have a good match. Because generally with me, obviously I got to make sure I'm spending my time with the right people as well. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? I'm in it, you know what I mean? But I also make sure I spend my time with the right people because I bring the most value in that situation. So me being sought after, it's kind of like, I fill those times up with individuals that I understand it to a degree and need to be educated a little bit more thoroughly. Like, I didn't have to continue to call you. I reached out a few times. I had to do my due diligence, but we also, in the course of doing everything, we started connecting a lot more.
This is the biggest thing with our people, right? From where we from, what we represent. It's gonna happen. One day you getting checked up out of here. So it's very important that we start acting
like one day we're going to meet our demise.
Yeah, one day you're gonna check up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Jesus alive, them gonna call you like, yeah,
you're gonna get called back.
You know what I'm saying? You're
gonna get called back. Yeah.
So stop thinking that
the world is gonna stop with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And stop thinking that you can't get knocked down out here. And I'm talking to my youngest. You know what I'm saying? Stop thinking that you ain't gonna get knocked down.
I mean, the moral story, don't be delusional to what happened. So I think a lot of us, right, we're totally delusional that we would do the same thing that somebody else have done and think that we're going to get different results.
Right,
so generally those results.
And that's why I'm saying like that.
Okay.
Don't think you ain't going to get, you out here swinging.
Is a strong possibility. So the moral story is that
I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
you gonna say it your way.
So I get it. I get it. But what I'm saying is that understand it's about decisions, right? And a lot of us don't, right? If A, B, and C, like A is this what could happen, and if I make this, so let's say if I go into the store and buy oat milk and frozen fruit, right? And I put that in my smoothie, it's going to taste the same, right? Because it was a decision, all those ingredients taste the same. So it's the same thing with decisions, right? So what I'm saying to say is that if you seeing this person make that decision and that's not something that you want to be in, or you don't want your end goal to be that, more than likely don't make that decision, right? Because that decision it continues to happen. And now I can see back in when I was speaking to one of my big brothers about a situation, right? When people was glorifying jail. Like jail was pretty much glorified. It was because the thing is what people was doing.
That's how I ended up in jail.
Correct, because they was glorifying it. Because now this is when mental health coming at. People was like, yo, bro, you gonna come home with the shine. You gonna get all the women.
And they was lying.
Yo, listen, but you don't know that because these are older individuals that, in hindsight, misery love company. So they was like, yo, there's no way.
They was telling me about how much fun they was having. Oh man, listen, yo.
It was so far from the truth.
It was worse.
It was so bad, right? It was so bad, right? But what I'm saying to say is that that's what their whole life expectancy was. Right. Their whole expectancy was to continue to go to jail, do whatever they do and how they want to do it, don't follow no rules of the land, and just be in a situation like that. So what I'm saying is that it could have been a mental disease that individual was really enjoying that. So for an individual like you, once you went there, you was like, yo, bro, this not it. It couldn't be it because, you know what I mean? This is no way of living. You cannot, the moral of the story is that, right? What I see, a lot of people go to jail, right? And they're young, right? And the people that does these real vindictive things generally be young because they haven't experienced that aspect of it, right? So if you're 17, right, you don't know what 30 years look like because you don't even know what tomorrow look like because more than likely you're on the couch or you're at your parents' house or your aunt's, whoever may have. You don't even have your own spot at that particular time, right? So you can be out here drilling, right? You can be out here going dumb hard because you don't know what 30 years look like until you catch a body, and now they bring you up on charges, and more than likely, you know, with the sophistication of where we at in this world with cameras, everything has a camera on it.
You can't do nothing without getting caught.
More of the story, right? But the thing is that you don't understand that what I'm saying is that 30 years is a long time. So if you do something at 17, we're gonna come home at 47, right? Generally, that's 30 years, right? So you will come home at 47, but nobody talks to you about that because the thing is that some people only have a hidden agenda in regards to allow you to be sent on a mission that it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because they've been through this process, right? So the moral story is that being in the streets, being in business, whatever you're doing, everything has a process, right? And the thing is that you have to know where you want to be at and where you want to end up at. So regardless of what, if you want to end up in a better situation, make the decisions that the people you're seeing make for those better situations. So what I'm gonna say is that if you look at anybody, even on social media, it's a lot of not practical, theoretical stuff, the theories of things, right? And if you see what these individuals been doing, they probably been in their practice or whatever they do, their capacity. Like you've been in trucking for 15 years now, right? 15. I've been in finance for 10 years, right? So you can see all of the luxury items at this point.
You see the end.
You see the end.
Stop judging. It's a problem that we run into that, like I said, it's the microwave joint.
The microwave joint, yeah. I wanted to get back to that.
Everybody want the microwave joint. It don't work like that. Nothing in life worked like that. Nothing. Anything that's worth getting, it was hard as hell to get. You listen. And this may be a shocker, right?
Yeah.
All of us can't be no rapper.
Yeah.
All of us can't be no ball.
A lot of us is trash.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what?
But it's something for you though.
It's something for you.
It's something for you. And the thing is what people don't understand, you just gotta stay in it. Even if you're selling socks, right? People make billions of socks is $1 trillion industry as well.
Tell you something. I watch these people in Virginia. Forgot the name of the company. They made 22 mil last year.
Off selling socks?
No. Guess what?
Or what? Cleaning?
Old shopping carts.
Okay. So what they refurbish old shopping carts?
Shopping carts. They buy the old shopping carts for $1.
Refurbish them?
Take them to the factory, clean them up like new, and sell them in foreign countries.
Yeah.
They made 22 million. Do you know the overhead that it costed them to refurbish that shopping cart?
Nothing.
The dude who told me $3.
Yeah, nothing. Because what they putting it inside of what you call and sending it to the other country. Yeah,
they put it in a container. Send it to Brazil. South Africa. Yo, and I sat there right in the yard, and I'm looking, and I became depressed. Because I was pissed off that I ain't think of that. I said, how did they? Yo, you gotta think about the shopping carts that we be seeing kids in the hood playing in the streets with. That shopping cart. That shopping cart worth $100 in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. Send it over there.
Send it up. I mean, the moral story is that you just got to be creative in whatever you're doing, and you got to stick to it.
But it's mad ways.
It's mad ways
to get paper. I'm telling y'all, it's mad. Listen, I looked up, did trucking. He looked up and did finance. It's mad ways to get paper. It's mad.
I'm not going to say it's not. It wasn't luck. I had a vision, right? You had a vision.
No, not luck. Bad choice of words.
Bad choice of words.
Not luck. It was. You made an educated decision.
Yes, you was persistent in not doing the same thing that you've done to put you in all the bad situations.
The definition of insanity is
doing the same thing over and over.
Expecting different results.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It don't work.
Okay, we get that. So what I'm saying too, right? And you probably can contest to this, right? You have to have, like, and this is almost in closing. You have to have a vision of what you want to do, right? And what that vision is going to start doing, it's going to start formulating. Like, the moral of the story is that I'm gonna tell you, when I was a foreman at this company, I was like, man, I was a foreman, bro.
How many people got a job?
Man,
you ain't official.
How many people I got a job?
You ain't get nobody no job.
I didn't, because I live right next to my job, and I didn't want nobody to know where I lived at. Yo, so, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's different now because, heck yeah, bro, because, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, security is nigga, it's real. Like, security is a real thing. So the moral story is that I did get my man, I did, you know, I plugged a couple people in, but it was hey, listen, I wasn't trying to be, I was a foreman. I wasn't the manager. The manager is who's doing the hiring.
Okay.
I'm the guy. So generally how I got plugged in this, my homegirl sent me to a temp agency. So I went to a temp agency, got plugged in. They put me on full time, right? It was just crazy, bro. I was just mad fortunate to be able to make a transition out of the climate that we was in.
Listen,
right?
This is what happens.
What happened?
See that story? You put the work in.
Yeah, you got to put the work in. No doubt about that.
Nothing happens overnight. All of these images that we seeing now in social media and society and shit, it don't work like that. There is no quick way to the top. There is
there's no expedited service to the top. And the moral story is that what we're going to be doing, obviously, in the next couple of weeks, is pitting real intrinsic and real culturalized. Is that intrinsic?
What that mean?
No, wrong word.
I will say something.
Pitting so I would run that past the producers. I'll run that past the producers to see if that's the right word to use. So the moral of the story is that, you know, we're going to put substance together. That's a better word. We're going to use substance because you understand substance, right? Chip, my man Chip understands substance, right? So the thing is that we want to have substance, obviously, and we're going to continue to have this thing going because obviously we have a lot of influence and individuals who's coming behind us.
Listen, the real is back.
The real is back.
The real is back. You better listen. I'm gonna talk the real is back. We're gonna get to y'all real. We're gonna give you the blueprint.
Yeah, the blueprint. Yeah, how to get it together. And
how to keep it together.
Yeah, you got to keep it together. Obviously, when you get it together, you got to keep it together. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that you can't, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Right. And the more of the story is that.
This is what this show is for. The people, this shit for the culture. We gonna bring the feeling back. How it's supposed to be. We ain't doing no fronting up here. Yeah, we ain't doing no lying. No we ain't doing no capping. Yeah. We ain't doing none of that. All that we anti-goofy up here. We ain't down in our women. We ain't down in where we came from. But guess what? Where I came from ain't where the fuck I'm going back to.
No, I'm not going back to that.
That shit is in the rear view, my niggas. So to all my young niggas out there that's doing their thing, I love y'all. I fuck with y'all. Y'all know nigga, fuck with y'all. But listen, nigga, you gonna be older way longer than the fuck you gonna be younger.
Yeah, so make some wise decisions.
End up no old head little nigga. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
All right, so hold on. So in retrospect, right? So what we're trying to say is that you have to start making conscious decisions in regards to where you want your life to go, right? And it's nothing wrong with being a good person, right? Because good people get exposed to better people in regards to, because the thing is that what I seen and coming up, and this is in closing, I seen all the tough guys running money away, right? Because nobody wants to deal with anybody that's going to be a detriment to the situation. So the moral of the story is that if you a wild person, more than likely, from a financial perspective, you're going to be a cancer to yourself. You're not going to really be able to get no money because nobody wants to deal with you. So you're running the money away. So you're doing all these things just to be in a bad situation. And like I said, like, granted, did I have some essential skills from the streets? Yes, but there's a lot of things that I wish I could give back too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because generally that's just what it is. But, you know, everything happened for a reason. We are here, and generally, like I said, we're going to bring a lot of substance here at the Chip and Mac Show.
Different topics. We have
guests.
People
definitely have some
people
guesses
that really did it. We know what I'm saying. We gonna hit y'all with some. We gonna hit.
We working, so we wanted to go live because that was just the thing. And just in closing, man, thank everybody for tapping in. And we definitely look forward to, you know, continue this journey that we're on, man, and continue this the providing the information with substance and just allowing people to know what's real. And generally, you know, you can be a good person, you can be a better person if you choose that route, and you can have all the things that you want. You just got to choose to go about them the right way.
And send us ideas. Send us to the Dat Chip and Mac Show on Instagram, Chippy of the North.
J. McDougal, you know, also make sure you book your appointments with me. Man, listen, it's right there online, right in my bio. Right in my bio, man.
Got plug,
right in my bio, man. Like,
trying to make a couple hours off y'all.
Without a doubt. I'm trying to provide a service that we need. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, so the thing, we need the service, right? So I'm here to provide it. And obviously, you know.
Listen, I'm going to keep it real with you. Don't be the nigga. Don't be the nigga that they had to have a GoFundMe. That's some embarrassing shit.
Looking
like, you know what I'm saying, looking like something, rolling like something, and then when they, you know what I'm saying, caught you like at the light slipping,
it's over.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you, because I'm gonna talk about you.
Please don't allow Mom Dukes to pick up that bill, man. Like I said,
I don't want to see nobody mother out there frying fish.
Yeah, man. Don't make it hard on moms, man. Don't
do it.
Yeah, man. Moms is gonna have to share those last things with you. So in retrospect and in closing, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Chippy and Mac Show.
Real is back. Bow. We in here, up here.
Say that, my guy. Yeah, say that, my guy. Shout out. We good.